This mapping visualizes 1.2 billion people. That is the number of weekly active users currently utilizing generative AI applications. It represents a 20-fold category expansion in just 2 years, scaling faster than any technology market on record. But the narrative of a fragmented, highly competitive AI landscape is largely a myth. The reality is extreme concentration. ChatGPT alone commands 900 million of those weekly active users, holding a steady 70. Long-term economic value in consumer technology relies on deep habit formation and recurring time spent, not transient hype surrounding a new model release. To understand why the market has already crystallized, we have to reverse engineer the engagement data. The metrics reveal that ChatGPT has moved past the novelty phase and is functioning as core internet infrastructure. Analyzing this usage data exposes the true financial endgame, a high-intent advertising monopoly that moves beyond the revenue limits of monthly software subscriptions. This grid stratifies consumer apps into 3 tiers: core utilities, social platforms, and niche apps. Core utilities are applications so embedded in daily life they function like basic infrastructure. Think of WhatsApp or YouTube. Over the last 36 months, ChatGPT's growth trajectory bypassed the niche tier, cleared the social tier, and is now tracking directly toward core utility status. The strategic weight of this climb comes from how it was achieved. OpenAI built a nearly billion-user distribution network from scratch without drafting off an existing social graph or operating system. Contrast this with Google Gemini, which currently hovers in the niche tier at roughly 200 to 250 million weekly active users. Gemini didn't acquire its user base organically. Its distribution is heavily subsidized, pushed through Google's pipeline of 4 billion users across search and Android. Meanwhile, the rest of the market operates on a cycle of volatility. Every quarter produces a new challenger, like DeepSeek in the winter or Grok in the spring, that briefly pulls massive download volume. But these competitor spikes are driven by localized model breakthroughs and curiosity. They do not convert initial downloads into sustained daily behavioral shifts. Looking at the install base and momentum combined, ChatGPT is the only AI application with the scale required to evolve into a durable internet utility. Market share tells us who showed up. To prove that a product is an entrenched habit, we have to look at daily engagement, specifically the ratio of daily active users to monthly active users. This DAU to MAU ratio separates curiosity from habit. This bar chart compares daily engagement depth. ChatGPT converts 45% of its monthly users into daily users. Gemini converts just 22%. The weekly engagement data shows an even tighter loop. 3 years ago, ChatGPT's weekly engagement was 50%. Today, it has climbed to 82%. An 82% weekly return rate matches the engagement profiles of heavy rotation enterprise tools like Slack and Gmail. It proves the platform operates as a daily productivity utility, relying on task completion rather than dopamine-driven social scrolling. For most applications, retention curves start high and steadily decline as users leave. But ChatGPT reveals a rare smile curve. After an initial dip, it bends back up, stabilizing at 66% by week 4. Compare that high retention floor against struggling competitors. Perplexity, for example, sees its mobile retention curve drop to 24% over the same window. Producing a smile curve requires winning back lapsed users. Doing so at a scale of 900 million people indicates that rapid product iteration, adding voice, vision, and memory capabilities, is actively compounding the product's switching costs. The stabilization at 66% confirms that ChatGPT is an entrenched behavioral habit. Every week that retention improves, the moat surrounding OpenAI widens. With a massive, highly retained user base established, the focus shifts to value capture. In consumer technology, time spent is the raw material for monetization. This pie chart maps the concentration of that raw material. ChatGPT currently captures 68% of all time spent across consumer AI applications. Historical data shows that at ultimate internet scale, advertising revenue outpaces subscription revenue. Google's ad business is roughly 5 times larger than Netflix's subscription business. Ad revenue is calculated by multiplying total time spent, the volume of ads shown, and the CPM, or the price advertisers pay per 1,000 impressions. For the first variable, total time, ChatGPT users currently spend approximately 16 minutes per day on the mobile application. The CPM, or price variable, is dictated by intent. When users prompt an AI to plan a trip or compare insurance rates, they are declaring high commercial intent within a highly personalized conversational context. This level of direct intent mirrors the nature of traditional Google search queries, making the conversational data highly valuable to advertisers. Based on early pricing models for premium AI placements, we can populate the CPM variable with an estimated $60. Applying conservative ad volumes to an unpaid user base of nearly 900 million yields an estimated $30 annually per free user. That resolves the equation to a $25 billion base ad revenue projection. Dominating the AI cycle enables the creation of an advertising franchise capable of rivaling legacy search giants, far exceeding the revenue potential of a standard software-as-a-service product. However, capturing that $25 billion requires flawless execution. The primary constraint is injecting commercial advertisements into a personal chat interface without degrading the user experience or destroying trust. This funnel illustrates OpenAI's current bottleneck. Roughly 95% of their weekly active users operate on free, unmonetized tiers, requiring OpenAI to force direct UI ad integrations to extract value. Google's funnel for Gemini reveals an entirely different approach. Gemini currently operates as an ad-free interface, pushing commercial intent outward into Google's traditional search ads ecosystem. Keeping the Gemini interface ad-free is a strategic luxury. It allows Google to grow users and deepen engagement without the friction of commercial interruptions. Google uses Gemini as a loss leader, absorbing massive compute costs specifically to protect its $295 billion monopoly in search advertising. This dynamic explains the vocal skepticism from Google leadership regarding OpenAI's timeline for implementing ads within a chatbot interface. OpenAI operates without a legacy cash cow. To survive rising inference costs at scale, they must pioneer highly personalized ad formats directly inside the chat. Google's strategy is inherently defensive. OpenAI survival dictates that they must successfully invent the future of conversational advertising. This composite visualizes the market's current reality. A 1.2 billion user base leaves no space for the narrative of a fragmented landscape. Consumer AI is already a consolidated behavioral habit, and it is overwhelmingly owned by a single player. The economics of the internet adhere to a power law. The entity that controls the installed base and commands the daily time spent dictates the future of global ad inventory. By establishing high weekly return rates and reversing user attrition at scale, ChatGPT has secured its behavioral moat against both corporate challengers and open-source models. The final existential challenge lies in execution. OpenAI must safely navigate the transition from a pure subscription tool into an integrated, high-intent advertising franchise. The platform that cracks conversational ad formats without breaking consumer trust will capture the disproportionate value of the AI cycle and define internet economics for the next decade. The AI cycle has moved out of the laboratory and into a winner-take-all fight for monetizable human habit.